Electronic dance music, EDM. Never has there ever been a more varied form of music, a style fueled by thousands of artists and loved by millions more. Now, unless you've been living under a rock for the past decade, you would have heard of its mainstream influence. Now, despite all of this, EDM is still being called dubstep or trap. Now see, EDM just happens to be an umbrella term under which we have many subgenres. Too many actually, which is why this video will only cover the main ones. Okay, so techno is the oldest form of electronic dance music, and it began in Detroit in the 1980s. This subgenre has a very percussive, repetitive sound. It's also between 120 and 150 BPM. Now most techno consists of alternating kicks and snares, or sharp rides. For example, Robert Miles' Children, and yes, Darude Sandstorm. In the words of techno legend Juan Atkins, techno is music that sounds like technology, and not technology that sounds like music. Meaning that most of the music you listen to is made with technology, whether you know it or not. But with techno music, you know it. In the past several years, EDM has gained incredible mainstream prominence. This pushes more and more non-EDM producers to try their hand at EDM, essentially creating a genre that borrows styles such as incorporating synthesizers and building up to a drop. Sometimes it works,
Who got the power?
and other times, well, it's shit.
Light up the place. Get lit with it. What you can't get with it. This is my room. This is my tune. You're with your mom.
Hardstyle is a subgenre that's been around since the early 2000s. It was popularized by the works of Showtek and Headhunterz and usually consists of filtered saws and simple, catchy melodies. But the most prominent feature is the heavy, stupidly overdriven bass, as seen in Colors. To this day, hardstyle is very popular among festival DJs. Trance music was first played in Germany and India of all places. Using fast-paced arpeggios, layered melodies, and atmospheric saws, trance artists like Tiësto and Armin van Buuren brought out intensity and power in their music. Trance was designed to sound like a continuous crescendo, rising in action and intensity until the very end of the track. House is one of the most popular EDM subgenres. Consisting of a constant 4-on-the-floor style pattern, house music is one of the most instantly recognizable styles of EDM. Due to the massive variety of the genre, house music can be further split up into a number of subgenres. First of all, there's Big Room, which is basically a more melodic form of hardstyle, but with less ear bleeding because the subs are not distorted as bad. For example, Headhunterz and Crystal Lake's Live Your Life. Some other notable big room artists are Dimitri Vegas, Hardwell, and even David Guetta in his single Bad. Then there's Electro House, or Electro for short. Electro uses a lot of square waves and saws, and has a heavy 90s chiptune influence, as seen in Avicii and Nicky Romero's tracks, I Could Be the One. Another great example of an electro track, showcasing its chiptune roots, and one of my personal favorites, is Martin Garrix's Virus. Now, Future House is a style that's supposed to symbolize a sound from the future. Yes, horrible definition, I know. Now, it's only called that to distinguish it from the regular house sound. Now, Future House is characterized by metallic, tightly EQ'd and gliding lead synths, as seen in Don Diablo's Cutting Shape. Another characteristic feature of Future House is its frequent use of hi-hat loops and simple melodies, as seen in Chami's Afterlife. Now, Tropical House is a subgenre that's characterized by light, airy synths, summer vibes, metal straws, and beaches. It's a very chill form of house, and a good example would be Kygo's track Firestone. The genre's laid-back and atmospheric aesthetic is shown through another popular song, which also happens to be one of my favorites, Jonas Blues' remake of Tracy Chapman's classic, Fast Car. Progressive house is the most popular house subgenre. Comprised of larger tracks, sometimes, this is the most mainstream form of house. Sometimes there are tracks with vocals, as seen in legendary artist Deadmau5's track, Monophobia. And sometimes there's tracks without vocals. Piano house is exactly what it sounds like. Piano plus house. This style is usually comprised of syncopated chord progressions played on light, atmospheric pianos, as seen in Jay Pryor's track, Make Love. This style also borrows elements from future house such as hi-hat loops, making this subgenre an absolute pleasure to listen to. Now, trap is a very popular subcategory of EDM. The genre is symbolized by repeated use of triplets on the hi-hats and snares, while the kick follows a swing pattern. Usually, the bass also hits along with the kick, as seen in Diplo's and Skrillex's track, Febreze. Sometimes even saws are used, as seen in Sanholo's track, Light. Future bass is a major subgenre of trap. Combining the twangy plucks of future house and the triplets and swing of trap, future bass is currently the most popular version of trap music on the charts, as seen in Izzy's track Birds. Now nearly all trap produced nowadays is future bass, and the sound has been made iconic by artists like Sanholo and Marshmello. This is seen in stupidly overplayed songs like Marshmello's Happier.
Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier, I want you to be happier.
Now dubstep was named for its use of dub, electronic reggae, and the two-step drum pattern, hence the name dubstep. Most early forms of dubstep were slower and more chill, with the bass being clean and low, as seen in tracks such as Cream's Midnight Request line. The newer vocal-filled version of the subgenre is the more iconic version of dubstep, filled with wobbly bass and heavy snares, some tracks also flexing their reggae influence. This version of dubstep was called brostep, but that sound slowly became synonymous with dubstep itself. This is seen in Skrillex's track Bangarang. There is also another subgenre of dubstep called rhythm, which is essentially regular dubstep but without the melodic component, as seen in Virtual Riot's Purple Dragons. Drum and bass basically emphasizes on, you guessed it, drums and bass. This is an older fast-paced genre that has rapid percussions and plucky, piercing bass. It's a very nostalgic and addictive style of EDM, as seen in Vega's Culture Shock. Some newer D&B tracks take on modern trap cues, but however maintain the same rapid pace, basically delivering raw, organic, adrenaline-filled listening experiences, unlike any other EDM genre. Moombutton is essentially a reggae trap fusion, filled with Latin American style beats, as seen in Afrojack's remix of Silvio Ecomo and Chucky's track Moomba. This kind of music is slowly gaining popularity among mainstream artists, like Major Lazer and David Guetta, as seen in his track Say My Name. DJ Snakes, Taki Taki.